in the distance meowing, also known as yelling. Yeah, the cats are hilarious. All right. There we go. Okay, okay. Let's start. Let's start with our normal stuff, but let's do lymph flush today, but we'll start with breathing. So breathing first, inhale, open. Reach out into space. Just get big and stretch around. Like you just woke up in the morning and you're still in your bed and you're like, oh, getting longer in your body. It's raining here. I have decided that we now have a new climate in the Hudson Valley. It is monsoon season. It's been really hot, really humid, and raining a lot. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Relax your neck, relax your tongue. Have a little tantrum around your body, or just shake into the space, awakening and livening your kinesphere, your realm of potential movement. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Breathe everything out, and then inhale. Lift it up. Exhale, stay up. Inhale. Bring your arms down. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, stay up. Inhale, bring your arms down. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Inhale, fill up your arms. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, stay up there, look up. Inhale, bring your arms down. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Just turn your head gently from side to side. Relax your neck and jaw. And then start to bring that into this horizontal plane spiral, twisting one side and then the other. Looking around behind you. Good. And then let's do this. It's like you're gonna go up and to the side, up and to the side, shifting your weight side to side, big arm circle on top. Peapod just came flying into the room over there, and nobody in TV land, but all the people in my room know I was just sitting there minding my own business, setting up the Zoom, and Peapod came slammed into me like it was as punk rock slam dancing as it could ever happen. It's really, really funny. She's a strange one. She's an oddball. All right. Rubbing your hands together, coming in for the lymph. And you can do this standing. I'm just sitting down so I'm closer to the camera. Right hand to your left clavicle. There's a lot of banging going around, and I know that it's Peapod and Squeaky Deaky having some kind of battle. Relax your neck, jaw, and throat. And I'm going above and below my collarbone, my clavicle. Let's just give it a little tap. You can hit with your hand, with your fingertips, or like your whole hand. So either a hit, whole hand, or fingertips. And I'm going to go around over my upper trap, kind of around my neck a little bit as well. Relax your face. Peapod, what's going on? And then starting the rub on the other side. She's off camera. And just rubbing left hand to your right upper quadrant. You can look around, you can move your body. If we're moving our bodies, we're getting movement from the inside of our body and also movement down into our body from the outside, right? We're moving the tissue on the surface, moving into it, and then moving our body from the inside. And then take that into a tap, a slap, or a fingertip touch, or a combo platter of all three. some areas, one thing's going to work better than another. So just listen into your own body. Keep on opening up the neck, tongue, jaw. And I'm really going up over my trap. My trap is really tight this morning. Can't imagine why. Haven't completely overscheduled myself. And then come in, give it a shake. We're going to go to the angle of the jaw, gentle, soft. So right around the angle of the jaw. Tongue, relax, like droopy. Most of the time, we don't want to go around with our tongue totally relaxed in our mouth, but we want to be able to do that. Most of the time, your tongue's going to be kind of up there behind your teeth on your soft palate. And you can kind of make your way to the front. Lots of lymph nodes under there. Then let's go really light and gentle, like rain pitter-patter fingers. You can go up around your jaw, down your neck. There she is, little punk rocker. The P. All right, and then come to pitter-patter up your face and around the back of your head, just letting yourself touch in like raindrops into the water of your body. All right, and then K27 point, it's just below your collarbone. Should be a little indentation in there, circling in there. You can try both directions. It's likely that one direction is going to feel a lot better than the other. So I would say mostly just go in the one direction, then maybe just try the other direction a little bit. And from there, we're just going to do a thymus thump and add a little Tarzan to it, like, everybody sleeping in my house loves it when I do that. So if I'm adding sound, I'm also adding vibration of the tissue in a different way. And I think we're often not, especially, well, as Western people, unless you are a singer, you're often not encouraged to make any noise or sound with your vocal cords in that way, like opening up and really letting out a Tarzan. So it's good to practice that, especially if it's uncomfortable for you, right? Try the things that make you feel a little bit like, ugh. And don't worry about being a good singer. It's not about being a good singer. It's just about letting out the sound, vibration. And let's take the right hand to the upper left armpit pec. I mean, if it feels horrible, don't do it. But if you can start to edge yourself into feeling okay with things that are a little bit uncomfortable. I had a psych teacher, Jordan Wright was his name, in New York City, who was great. And one of the things he said was like, learn how to be comfortable in the awkward times, right? That you don't have to change it. You don't have to shift the situation. You have to fix everything. You can just let it be awkward and be like, oh, it's really awkward. And not that you have to necessarily enjoy that, but maybe you can start to go, oh, check this out, but not have to change it and fix it and run away. Especially if it's not your weirdness, if it's other people's weirdnesses and you're just like, okay, I can accept that. That's what's going on. Shift it to the other side. Yeah, he is teaching, Jordan Wright was teaching psychology at SUNY Empire State College. And all of the classes that I took from him were great. All right, let's come in. Let's just go to this right under your ribs and just do a little pull along the edge. So getting your fingers kind of in there and like you're kind of hooking with your fingers and pulling along. As you're doing that, don't hold your breath. You can keep breathing. Even feel like you're getting the edge of your diaphragm, or you might not be getting the edge, but you're pushing into it, right? And ideally we're pulling along. So there's a lot of things coming in here. We've got our transversus abdominis, our rectus abdominis up here. Our internal and external obliques are connecting in here, all at sort of different levels of the bone. And under that, we also have, well, actually it's interdigitated, our diaphragm with the transversus abdominis, which means that it's doing this, like they're connecting in like that. So our body is super interwoven, interconnected. It's all one thing. It's not like a bunch of parts that are in different places. All right, coming into the middle, sternochyli. So that's also like our liver is there on one side, our spleen on the other. And we don't want those organs getting kind of jammed up where they can't move, right? We want movement in there. And a lot of times our culture, or I'm just going to say it, the white, like Western culture is very kind of rigid in their bodies, right? Like, oh, we used to wear corsets, like not that long ago. We don't want to move our bodies. We have lots of power. When we say stiff, we want to get some movement in there, right? That's good for our organs, getting some movement in our bodies. And sometimes like, we look at movement as being culturally wrong. Like, oh, you shouldn't move like that. Oh no, don't stick your butt out. Oh, don't do this. That's wrong. Or that's, that's just an imposition of culture on movement. It is not truth. It's just the concept about movement. So let it go, right? We need to be able to move our bodies. We want that fluidity in our torsos. Have some physical movement and some expression in there. All right, speaking of which, right in here, in the grotesque plane, right around my groin, between my hip bone and my pubic bone, right in there. That is our next spot on the lymphatic basic 6 journey, which we've added a lot of other things to today. And the reason being, because in my life, I am super overextended. And so when I'm really overextended, I got to make sure that I'm really doing as much self-care as I can do. And self-care, it might be a bubble bath, but it might just be doing the basic 6 regularly, or finishing my showers with cold, or doing some breath work, right? Getting in there, maybe move your butt around, free it up. Also, so much of the way that we exercise is squeeze it, engage your core, squeeze your butt, like all that stuff. I'm like, I just don't know that that's always the thing that we should be doing. Let's go down behind our knees. Sometimes yes, but most of the time no, right? Like if I'm going to pick something up, I might want to kind of brace so that I can support my body. But if I am just being a person walking around, I shouldn't be bracing like that. That is not healthy. Tension masks sensation, but it is a great way of not feeling, right? So, oh, I don't want to feel anything. I'm just gonna squeeze it all together. And that's a great way of maintaining the status quo in the world. If we don't feel anything, we don't need to change anything. There's nothing wrong out there. It's all fine. Anyways, let's do one more place. Back here, just coming back to sacroiliac. So here's where my sacrum is coming down, joining my iliacus. I'm just going to give that a little bang out. Also, like a lot of the nerves are coming out here to go down your legs. So getting in there. You can go around the side of that, get your glute minimus, medius, maybe even maximus, but really the higher ones probably need it more. And then let's take it down to the floor. This is very long prep time. We could also think of this as being tissue prep. So in the work, the continuum work, and in some of the more somatic work, we think about tissue prep, like, oh, what do we need to do to prep our tissue to be able to accept whatever we're going to do movement-wise? Or yeah, let's just go with movement-wise. And so the tissue prep, like sometimes like, oh, I want to warm up, but this could be more gentle than warming up, like just getting in there, giving everything a bang. We didn't bang out all our other parts. We really just banged around up here. Sorry about that, but I don't want to take forever on those things. Let's go side side. Just know that anywhere where we're doing that rub for the lymphatic, you can also thump, tap, lightly smack. Letting your spine from your tail to your head take on this C curve and feeling your arm, the wing of your heart and lungs, joining into that C curve. So I'm trying not to let my butt pop off the floor, right? I'm trying to really get into that. I can even push into the floor with my bottom hand to get more movement there in my ribs and in my side body. Like if I push, I can lean into that C curve a little bit more. The side movement. So often I feel like in many sort of traditional workouts that people do, or when people are working out, they're not always thinking about balancing their body. And like, so the side body can get short shrift. So I feel like it's really important to get in there. We're going to circle the whole way around with that. And these circles really help release the fascia in my lower back, around my sacrum, and even deep inside, like around my quadratus lumborum, anything connecting my pelvis to my ribs, right? Which is a lot of organs in there. So as I'm going around, I'm not bracing or squeezing. I'm letting my body be as fluid as possible. Oh, it is humid and change legs. So like, it's not that hot up here. It's like, it's on its way towards 80, but it's probably like 76 or something. I'm just going to go side to start out. Non-dominant leg is now in front, but it's like sweaty weather if you don't have the AC on. And I try not to live in AC most of the time, just when it's really necessary or when the air quality is really bad. Circling the whole way around. The world that we are creating together, can we make it gentler and kinder and more sustainable, both for the planet and for our friendly other creatures on the planet and for ourselves? Or even the unfriendly other creatures on the planet, right? Can we also just live in a place where we can live and we're encouraging life for everybody? And so for that, I feel like even just having a relationship with the elements is super helpful. Like the water that we are drinking is shared by the whole planet, right? The rain that comes down. It's not like the whole planet is affected. And we are all bodies of water. And water also resonates with other water, right? It has information in there. Back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, open it up. Exhale. Inhale, open. Air, another element, right? The air I breathe, it's not that different than the air you breathe. And if we're in the same room, we're sharing that stuff, right? If we're in the same town, we're probably sharing it too. Exhale, back of the hands together. Inhale, open. And what we do to that air as a species on this planet affects all of us. And the trees are participating in the air, right? Every living thing out there is living within this atmosphere. And even the inanimate things are being created within this earthy system. So we might think of the earth element, the rocks and the stones. Inhale, open. Exhale. And in our own bodies, like what are the densest things? Our bones, our teeth, our fingernails, right? Dense structures. Let's take it all the way down. Inhale, stretch it out. And yet, even in our own bodies, like our bones are wet, the bones have water in them. They're not dry. They're not like if if you come across a bone on your hike that's all like bleached out and dried and there's no sort of life left on it, unless it's like some mold that has joined into the mix. That's not what our bones inside our bodies are like, right? They are wet. They have marrow inside. So there's water and earth element together. Inhale, open, exhale. If you need to feel more grounded in your life, feel into your bones. Last one. Take it all the way down. Hands on your knees, big circles, lubricating up your hip sockets, relax your feet. Let this massage out your lower back. And you can exaggerate the arch as your legs go down and then curl more as they come up. if you want to get more release in your lower back. Sometimes we think, or I have thought, I think other people think this way too, that like the way to release something is to really stretch it. Like, oh, I really gotta get in there and stretch that thing. And sometimes it's gonna release easier if you don't do it so hard. If you give it a chance to just be more fluid and relaxed, right? Not going necessarily for your super duper stretch. Because in a way, sometimes like really extreme stretching is forcing our body into something. But we'll do a little bit of that too. But we want to have like that idea of tissue prep being giving the tissues in our body, the soft tissue, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscle fibers, the fascia, even the organs, the chance to sort of gently prep to what's going to happen so that they are primed and not like inert. Inert's not really a good word for it, but inhale, lift, exhale down. Inhale, so that there's like blood flow going through there. So there's fluid flow so that it's ready. Inhale, lift. Much less likely to get injured if you have done some tissue prep, or if you do it on a regular basis where you're like, you're not stretching or strengthening so much as tuning into the flow and the fluidity of your body. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's go up and stay. Open your arms out to the side and just take your hips from one side to the other. So I'm shifting my hips over, and it's kind of like I'm making just a little arc with my pelvis up and down a little bit. As I'm doing this, I'm massaging out my shoulders, my upper traps. And that feels good. So I can slow it down and get more of a massage, also freeing up my head. But remember before I was saying that my shoulders are kind of tight today. So I want to let them have more opportunity to relax. Good. And then we're going to bring it in, and you're just going to make a full circle, pressing up and then dropping down. Coming full circle. Change direction. I think for like at a certain point in your life, being able to move is more important than being able to be still, right? Like our rigidity, which is our capacity to like stop and be more rigid, is less important than our capacity to move and to be fluid. So just thinking about that, like just throwing that into your conceptual palette of how you think about your body. Draw your knees in. Let's go for a happy baby. Free up your flow, wiggle around, let your baby be happy and baby-like. What does that even mean? Breathing. Yeah, and so much of the way that we hold our bodies or conceive of our bodies is embedded in our language and the way that we talk about body. Like we don't have a lot of good words for talking about embodiment or soft tissue. Like there isn't a whole language. It hasn't been something that it's been something we've kind of shoved over to the side for whatever reason. Well, the age of reason and logic. But the organic body isn't living in those terms. It's living in terms of organic aliveness. Like if you look at the way water moves, that's more similar to what's going on in our body. Like what's predictable about it? It's going to be doing this, right? The water is going to have flow. It's going to have three-dimensional motion. It's going to have spirals and whirlpools and eddies, right? It's not just going zit. And in our body, there are no straight lines. Everything is curvilinear, rounded, shaping around each other in itself, right? So and really interwoven and interconnected. All right, so let's come onto our hands and knees. We are going to do, I think we're going to do a whole sequence of stuff here. So I got to make it up as I go along. I'm going to bend my elbows to the floor and then come up, curl my toes under, lift my knees off and lower down. So that's it. Toes, top of the feet to the floor. Elbows down, up, take your weight forward, pick up your knees, come down, tops of the feet to the floor. Elbows down, up, curl your toes up under, pick up your knees and lower. Tops of the feet to the floor. Elbows up, curl your toes under, lift, lower. Adding one more thing. Elbows up, coming through the hands to the tippy fingers, and then lower your heel of your hand back down, curl your toes under, knees up and down. Elbows up, all the way up. Take your weight forward, lower the heel of your hand, lift up your knees. You can take out any steps that you need to take out. You can change it entirely, make it work for you. Just gonna do it a few more times. Oh, I'm gonna stay up on my tippy fingers for one of those as well. You can put your wrists down if you need to. I'm gonna try it on my fingertips. Last one. And let's take it forward onto forearms, and we're gonna do, again, sort of a flow. Actually, this is kind of interesting. Interlace your hands, walk your elbows towards your knees, and then walk your elbows forward. Let's go all the way into a forearm plank. Pick your knees up off the floor, and then drop your knees down, walk your elbows back. Walk your elbows forward, take it out. Pick up your knees. Find your plank, drop your knees, walk your elbows back. It feels like nothing at first, and then when you add it to something else, it's like, oh, there's all this little mobility in there. So we're just working with this rotator cuff, your arm into your body with your scapula, collarbones, all those things, along with your whole body. Stay in this plank, forward and backward. And then lower your pelvis down to the floor. Drop your head, bend your knees. Let your knees fall from side to side. And then take it out, opposite arm to leg, up and down. And then we're going to change it. You're going to go up, take it out on the diagonal, bring it into line and come down. Up, diagonal, into line and lower. Up and out, bring it in and down. Both my hips are on the floor. I'm not pushing so much with one leg to get the other leg off. I'm really just focusing on lifting a leg. One more time each side. And relax for a second. Take your head on your hands, curl your toes under, push up and down, soften your neck, soften your shoulders. Relax your belly, relax your guts, relax your butt, shake it all out, jiggly and loose. And then tops of the feet on the floor, hands next to your chest, arch, baby cobra, and release it down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, lift, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. The next one, connect your hands, come all the way up and take it down. Using your breath, opening, pushing the floor away, taking it back down. If you want to try bending your knees, touching your toes towards your head, go for it. Couple more times. And then take it back into a child's pose. Breathe and relax. You can stay in your child's pose, or you can do what I'm doing, which is coming up onto the crown of my head and then reaching my tail back. Yeah, my knee is a million times better. but not entirely so. We're going to do, or I don't want to take it for granted that it's better. So we're going to do some leg stuff, starting on your back. One leg out, flexed foot, really reaching through your heel, low leg going up for 4. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Tippy toes, Barbie foot, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pointed toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it turned out. Heel flex, just low, 1. Turned out leg, inner thigh brings it up, 2, 3, 4. Tippy toes, 1, 2. These are low, 3, 4. Pointed toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back in, shake it out. We're going to go high, flex up, point down. We'll just do 8, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to flex it, turn it out, give it a shake, let it go. Yeah, in the humidity, like the tissue in my body feels very different than when it's drier. Like there's more of a like stickiness in my body. So we want to make sure that we're moving, like drinking enough water, making sure we have enough electrolytes, but also that like you may have to adjust the effort and maybe not do as much, but really listen to your body. So I'm like, oh, my body's much more tired doing this than if it was drier. Turned out leg, kicking up high, flex foot, 1. So just going to say flex the whole time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I'll say is like, it's like you can't force everything to move the way you want it to. You want to listen in and maybe slow some things down. Just a quad stretch on that side. And then release and come onto your back, starting the whole thing on the other side. So a flexed foot, low leg, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tippy toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pointed toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then flexed and turned out. These are low again, up the middle, 1, right up the line, midline, 2, 3, 4. Tippy toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pointed toes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax it, give it a shake, let your whole body release for a second. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm noticing really is that there's like kind of a just maybe a slight inflammation in my body or slight like lack of things moving with this humidity. It also might be that I'm tired and haven't had enough sleep. All right, let's go flex up, point down, but I think it's the humidity day after day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're reaching through your toes, pointing. 6, 7, 8. Flexed and turned out. Give it a shake, let yourself release. This side doesn't feel as tired as the other side, so who knows? Up and down, but this is my right. 1, 2, flex foot, turned out leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roll it over onto your side, grab on, stretch your quad, breathe into it. So the other thing that I learned from my neighbor who's an acupuncturist, I think I knew this already, but like, because somebody was asking this once on my YouTube channel about how much water I drink and what's the appropriate amount of water and that. So the thing is, if you're like drinking excessive amounts of water, you can flush the electrolytes out of your system. So you really need to be listening and also making sure like eating things like watermelon, cucumber, Really water-rich foods are going to help keep your body hydrated and keep that hydration in. So you're not just flushing it through. I'm sure that you've had the experience where I'm drinking a ton of water, but I feel like kind of bloated and I don't feel like any of the water's moving in my body. It's just bloating me and then moving, like peeing it all out. So that's like an electrolyte thing. Like we want to make sure, and also a movement thing, right? That we're moving in ways that allow that hydration to move through our bodies. Let me have a sip of coffee on that note. With my Star Baker mug. It's a Christmas present from Anthony. All right, we're not going to do the whole side lying thing, but we're going to do some side lying stuff. And hey, bud. Oh, here she is, the little awkward kitty with her Manx tail. All right, coming onto your side. So we're going to do a combo platter. But knees are bent, you're on your elbow, you're going to come up, reach back, and then bring it in. Arching, curling. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Reach it back, come forward. Reach, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Two more. Up and down and up. Bring it in. Stretch your legs straight down below you. You can take your arm up. From there, just turn your leg in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do 8, 7, 8. And come down. Swing it around to the other side. So with that turn in and out, like, yes, I'm turning my leg in and out, but where I was really feeling it was on the lower side, pushing the floor away, right? So sometimes we think, oh, this is the thing I'm doing. But the work might be, you might be feeling it somewhere very different, right? What we're doing, we're getting that internal external rotation. We're getting your hip to lubricate itself by the movement of that femur head in the hip socket, and also getting the tissue to ideally hydrate. Moving water, which in our bodies, in our fascia, there's like free flowing water and there's also bound water. And the bound water is more gelatinous. And it's not like, it's like an aspic where there's real integrity to the gel, right? It's like it has shape and form, but if we squish around, it can adjust and shift. Fascia likes slow things. It wants to change slow, right? We don't want to do it all in one day. So our body's also like slow to, and I don't mean moving slow. I mean taking your time to build up a practice, taking your time to integrate whatever it is you're doing. All right, other side. In and out. Open. Arching into the back space, head, tail working, arching and curling. 4 more, 3, 2, last one. Take your hand up, leg out, right down below you, in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and come down. And let's do, it's so funny. Some of these exercises that like we do, I look on Instagram and I'm like, oh, the football team is doing those exercises for mobility, because people are learning like the subtlety can be the real magic of long-term health in your tissues. All right, so let's go up and take it down to the floor. And considering that like most exercise that people do in fitness, in dance, now it's changing. It has all changed hugely in the past 20 years. But prior to that, a lot of it was really either like military training, strength building, or a sports career or a dance career. Like people were training to do those things. All of those careers are short-lived. All of those like dance careers, sports careers, what time do those people retire? You know, very few are still going past 40, let's put it that way. So if you're looking for movement for the rest of your life, you want to be looking much broader at the type of practices you're doing, right? It's not just building strength or stamina but you want to build mobility and flexibility. At the same time, extreme flexibility can be a liability. It's not always the best thing, right? People who are hypermobile often have joint issues, right? They have to really work to stabilize their body. All right, let's come in, open it out. And circle. Free up your guts, mobilize your hips. You can flex, point, or just relax your feet, whatever feels good to you. And change direction. Hands behind your head, elbows to the floor, and then come up. Exhale down, inhale up. I'm going to flex to help stabilize my lower body a little. Stretch it out, open, open, open. Hands behind your head. Take it down, reach it long, open, open, open. Hands behind your head, down, reach it out, open it up. Okay, so I'm just thinking about this and I'm going to say it in this class. I usually don't talk about people that we've lost in the world, like in terms of celebrities and stuff. But I am going to say, I really am mourning the loss of Sinead O'Connor. Like she was one of my, I don't know, she was just cool as hell. And not afraid to stand up for what she believed in. And incredibly generous, right? She ended up, I don't know, just a very generous spirit who was certainly troubled and had a hard time being in the world. But it's a bummer. It's a real bummer that she has passed. All right. And you know what? So I guess the reason I'm saying that is like when we feel grief for something, whether it's something immediate in our life or something that's sort of out there, that's in our system. And it's also in the system of other people. Like often, like there's people we know who also had the same sort of relationship, let's say with Sinead O'Connor. Let's just use her as our example. But it's also an opportunity to grieve the things maybe in our life that we haven't grieved for. So sometimes like you get hit really hard watching Grey's Anatomy. And it's like, I used to use that as like my therapy session, just because I could watch it and just cry, 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 cry. And then I kind of stopped because I was like, wow, they're all seeing the same like plastic surgeon. They all look kind of the same because nobody's face is expressed anymore. Sorry, I just have to say it. So I kind of felt like, I don't really buy it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. So allowing ourselves to grieve in whatever way we need to release that emotion. Even going to play, like, let's take it forward and hang out. Even going to play or watch sports, right? Sports, it's a big group of people together expressing themselves, right? You are allowed to express, no, yes, no. We need that. That helps us express and release, offload tension. Yeah, so sometimes like these symbols, like I didn't know Sinead O'Connor, I just knew her music and her, you know, a little bit about her life, but it's a symbol. And like when I can grieve that, it's also releasing some of the grief that's in my own life. And I think it's something that we're not that good at as a culture also. It's like dealing with grief, like hide it, pretend everything's okay. All right, roll across your butt, just release, soften, and melt. Or like feeling like there's the deep well that if you go into that well, you're never coming back out, right? The well of sorrow. Are there ways that we can like just let some of that well come out and feel supported? Even if it's like just like me feeling supported doesn't mean I need 10 people like hugging me. It just needs to be okay that I'm there in a space or whatever, right? Or even with myself, like I can breathe. I'm supported by the air and the water and the cats, right? Animals are often really great at helping you grieve. They somehow get it. Some of them aren't, some of them are. Let's go out and in, out and in and out and change. Other side, out and in and out, out, in, out, out, in, out. Contralateral pattern. If you want to add a arch and curl, make it bigger. Arch, curl, arch. Feel what you need to do to be able to balance that. And just feel it. Is one diagonal easier than the other? Right, adding the arch and curl destabilizes it a little. So there's more movement, makes it a little harder. Last one. And let's come in. If you need to release your wrists, just come over the back of your arms, curl your hands in, and then roll across your wrists, putting some weight on it. So you're mashing into your forearms, go one way and then the other, or both in and out. You can add some shoulder movement to that, a little bit of cat-cow. Right, all of this tissue, this fascial matrix is interconnected and interwoven. Our nerves, our vascular structure, our vascular system, veins and arteries are also moving through that fascial structure and are made up of it. Like the fascial structure holds the form of our body, all of it, right? So there's really nothing. I think our eyelids don't have superficial fascia, but they don't have like the layer of the fleece of the superficial fascia, but they are like still integrated with fascia to help us hold form. All right, let's come back here and just do some waves, rippling head to tail, tail to head. Doesn't have to be huge, but just feeling that wave of movement moving through your body. And if it feels like there's a place where it doesn't really feel connected, just imagine that it is. Use your imagination to connect it. And then open your hands a little wider, circles with your heart down to the floor and up. And the other way, pushing with your hands. And then coming back to your hands and knees. Could be elbows and knees. So if your wrists are tired, come down to your elbows. And let's just free flow the spine with some theta breath. So theta breath is a soft hiss. Free flowing the spine, letting your body mobilize in any way that feels good. Really delicious and juicy inner body. And the theta lasts as long as it lasts, doesn't have to be forever. And let's let that go. And we're just going to end everything with some hip stretches. So I haven't done this. Have I done it? No, not since I had my knee injury, I think. So ankle to knee might last about 1 second for me, but I'm going to give it a shot. I feel like I'm protecting with my with my flexed foot. So ankle to knee pose. If you need to straighten the bottom leg, go for it. Breathing into it, hips softening, melting. Free up your inner body. Breathe. Do what you got to do here. And then when you're ready, come out. Give a little bang. Taking out. Switch it to the other side. Oh, my hips, my knees, everything feels like achy and sore right now. Not sore, just like, oh, I feel like it's the humidity, like my body's kind of stuck in itself. Can I be in this position? Yes, I can. Breathe. Oh, but I can't force it down. Oh, yeah, it's been a month since I've been in this position. Hello. When you're ready, come out, give it a little bang. Rotate in and out. And then slide your heels underneath you, take your butt up to the ceiling, open it wide, shift from side to side. And then come in, roll it all the way up, coming all the way up to the top. Inhale, open it up, fill up your lungs. Exhale, shake, shake, shake. Extra shake. Oh, I just have to pick up this little buddy. He's such a little noodle. He's such a little noodle. Inhale, open, breathe, shake it out. I gotta torture my noodle. He tortures me all the time. You don't need an alarm clock when you have a squeaky deeks. Although he doesn't, he doesn't wake me up at the same time every morning. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, let it go. A squeezable. Everyone needs their own squeezable kitty sometimes. Here he is, Mr. Glory. And he's finally learning to be brushed and combed, which he kind of likes it, but he's still shedding like crazy. Like, just from holding him, I am now covered in white hair. All right, I'm gonna close out the live stream. If you were here, like, subscribe, do all the things, share it with your mom and your best friend. And